This week on the Orion Newscast, we sat down with Matthew Mitchell, who had been homeless in Chico for a year.
And now we have over 50,000 people without a home. And that could happen to anybody.
And we witnessed the start of a #climate uprising with humble beginnings in Paradise, California.
There's no shortage of powerful stories in this community, and we started this really to try to create a platform for the community to have the microphone, because the world needs to hear their story.
But first, on Tuesday, the Chico City Council voted to review the establishment of 2 24-hour restrooms for the homeless and listen to concerned citizens.
How do we get people on the street, off the street? But you don't define the problem that way. You define the problem as, since people are on the street anyway, how can we make their life more convenient? How can we help them, be more comfortable?
To open one restroom in the entire downtown and then expect that with all that energy focused in that one spot, you're not going to have problems makes no sense to me. You have to dissipate this. And you have to make it so that someone who's pushing a cart, like so many people I know who can barely walk, don't have to walk 20 blocks to get to a restroom either.
The Women's Leadership Symposium highlighted female leaders on campus last week to encourage female empowerment.
Leadership, for me, is dancing with confidence, knowing that no one has all the right moves, singing for those that haven't found their voice yet, and not doing it as if nobody's watching, but do it in spite of those that tell you.
Hi, my name is Kaloy. I am 20 years old, a student at Chico State, and I'm a singer-songwriter. A lot of my music is very piano-based, and by that I mean like John Legend, Adele, Lady Gaga type music, so like from pop ballads to like really dramatic Adele vibes. It's been an amazing experience. There's really like no words to describe what it feels like to turn nothing into something. We all have a message to get out there, so just remember why you're writing the song, and that'll get you past your writer's block. At least that's what works for me.
Yeah.
Right. So, can you just tell us a little bit about how you actually became homeless in Chico?
Yeah. So when I moved with these guys, I was sleeping on the couch, and I was paying my rent. Mm-hmm. And I worked the graveyard from like 11 p.m. to like 7 a.m. So I'd get off in the morning and I'd come home, and there would just be pee and poop everywhere from the dog, and I got sick of it, and I disciplined the dog. It's a little small chihuahua, right? So I just smacked it, and then I just took it to where the poop was. And of course the dog yelped, and the owner came out and was just irate that I had disciplined the dog. And I said, well, it's defecating on my clothes, on stuff that I need to use for work, and my property. So clean it up. The house should be clean. And then I was working in that next day, and I get a text from my roommate saying, pack your stuff and leave when you get off work. And so when I got there, all my stuff was on the front porch, and I just shoved it in my Mercedes at the time, my car. And then I lived in my car for about like almost a week. And then I found the tour shelter. A fire just ravaged and burned down a whole, not just Paradise, but Concal and Polga and all those cities there, and now we have over 50,000 people without a home. And that could happen to anybody. So none of us are immune from, becoming homeless, and I really think that since that has happened, I think it really has opened people's eyes to that anything can happen. Anything can make you lose your home.
3 months ago, the Camp Fire displaced over 50,000 people living in Butte County, California. And on Sunday, February 17th, a climate uprising came to the North State, starting in Paradise and led by the same people who lost their communities and homes. The hashtag Climate Uprising is a documentary and social media campaign aimed to giving a voice to communities impacted by climate change and is described as a bipartisan movement calling for climate action. Members from all across the North State were present for the photo shoot on Sunday. Chico City Councilman Carl Ori was a volunteer helping to run the event.
Well, I guess the reason I'm here is that I see climate change as a public safety issue. Obviously, it has had more impact on public safety than anything we've had to deal with.
Hashtag Climate Uprising came to Paradise because they claimed that the catastrophe of the Camp Fire was a climate-fueled wildfire, caused by climate conditions that fuel the frequency and ferocity of fires. Hashtag Climate Uprising organized a portrait photo of more than 100 community members who were affected by the fire and committed to standing in unity as a climate uprising. At the event, we caught up with the Chico State Associated Students Vice President Jared Geiser to see what he had to say.
Met with Nirvan, heard about what he wants to do. He wants to bring awareness to climate change and connect it to this campfire that was made more severe because of climate change, and I wanted to get involved. I wanted to be a part of his movie that he's making to try and get the message out about the urgency of climate change and how we really need to deal with it.
What happened in Paradise is what's happening to the world. So it's time to rise. I disagree with that. I gotta go. We're here to do. Right?
After the photo shoots were over and the cleanup had started, we had a chance to speak with Nirvan Molek, who organized the event and heads the hashtag Climate Uprising.
There's no shortage of powerful stories in this community, and we started this really to try to create a platform for the community to have the microphone, because the world needs to hear their stories.